Hello, I'm Peter Bergman. This is my official YouTube channel. I'll be updating you with the latest news, so please subscribe to my channel.
Welcome back to the channel, Mutuals. Today is a beautiful, chaotic Tuesday in the fandom, and we are diving headfirst into the absolute madness that just dropped on our screens because the timeline is literally in shambles. I am vibrating at a frequency that could shatter glass right now. The screen is glowing, my coffee is completely cold, and I am purging every ounce of love and loathing before I even think about hitting the pillow. Well, whatever happens, happens, right, everyone? Because what we just witnessed is the kind of tectonic, plate-shifting television that demands a digital manifesto. Are you guys seeing this absolute insanity right now? I am talking about an absolute masterclass in psychological warfare that just detonated in Genoa City. And if you are not screaming at your television right now, someone check my pulse because I am actually spiraling. Basically, we need to talk about Phyllis Summers and the fact that she just walked into the lion's den and completely dismantled the undisputed god of this show. Listen, I'm fully prepared to be canceled for this, but I literally have to say it. Phyllis is the only person in the entire history of this franchise who possesses the sheer, unadulterated audacity to pull off what she just did. We are talking about a woman who has been pushed to the absolute brink, backed into a corner by the Newmans time and time again, and she just flipped the entire chessboard with a single manila folder. Seriously, the sheer cinematic weight of her strutting into Victor's office, heels clicking against the hardwood like a literal countdown to doomsday, is permanently etched into my brain. Dead ass, the energy in that room was so thick you could cut it with a chainsaw, and I am here for every single second of it. Wait, is it just me, or has the writing for Phyllis been leading to this exact crescendo for literally years? We have watched her endure the absolute most, from the horrific Marco Anicelli trauma to the constant marginalization by the elite families of this town, and low-key, she has been quietly gathering her ammunition in the shadows. She is not just a wild card anymore. She is a calculated lethal weapon. When she slapped that document down on Victor's desk, it was not just a piece of paper. It was decades of suppressed vengeance manifesting in physical form. No cap, Michelle Stafford deserves every single Emmy in existence for the micro-expression she was serving in this scene. You could see the manic glee dancing in her eyes, perfectly balanced with the cold, hard realization that she is now holding the nuclear launch codes to the Newman Empire, period. Look, I mean, think about the history here. Think about how many times Victor has tried to squash her like a bug. Remember when he brought Marco into her life? That was unforgivable, and honestly, I always felt like she never got true justice for that absolute nightmare. And then there was the whole thing with Jack and the constant back and forth with Nick, where Victor would always hover like this omnipotent shadow dictating who gets to be happy and who gets to suffer. And don't even get me started on Adam. Adam has been trying to get this kind of leverage over his father for his entire adult life. He has schemed, he has plotted, he has literally gone to the darkest corners of his own soul to find the one silver bullet that could take down the mustache, and he has failed every single time. And here comes Phyllis, waltzing in with a fresh blowout and a designer bag, doing in 5 minutes what Adam couldn't do in a decade. It makes me so incredibly furious when I look at the systemic power imbalance where the mustache always wins. Sorry, I'm getting a bit off track. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the point. The point is that the power dynamic just experienced a catastrophic inversion, and I am feasting on the chaos. Seriously, we all know Victor Newman is a literal deity in this universe. He is the immovable object, the grandmaster who anticipates every single move before his opponents even realize they are playing a game. But this, he did not see this coming. The abrupt pivot in his demeanor, the way his legendary booming confidence just evaporated into thin air, was staggering. Wait, maybe he did suspect something? No, he was completely blindsided. You could see his brain visibly struggling to load the truth in real time. It was total emotional paralysis manifesting on the face of a man who has not felt genuine terror since the 1980s. Dead ass. Watching the color drain from his face was like watching a historical monument crumble in slow motion. The sheer vulnerability in his eyes was something I never thought I would witness in my lifetime. Anyway, the tension leading up to the reveal of that document was agonizing in the best possible way. The camera angles, the lo-fi staccato bursts of dialogue, the heavy silence hanging in the air before she spoke it was pure, unfiltered cinema. Phyllis didn't just hand him the file, she wielded it like a scythe. She knew exactly what she possessed. This wasn't some petty corporate blackmail or a minor scandal about a stolen prototype. This was the kind of earth-shattering secret that unravels legacies, destroys families, and sends billionaires to federal prison. The way she trailed her manicured finger over the edge of the folder, dragging out the suspense, was low-key the most villainous, iconic thing I have ever witnessed. She was playing with her food, and Victor was the main course. Look, and then she spoke. She didn't yell. She didn't scream. She just leaned in, invading his personal space with the lethal precision of a viper, and delivered 6 words that will echo through the halls of Newman Enterprises for the rest of eternity. 6 words, you guys. I am not going to lie, I actually stopped breathing. I have the real autopsy report, or whatever those exact 6 syllables were. The dialogue was so perfectly crafted, so sharp, so utterly devastating. The absolute finality of those 6 words dropping into the silence of that office was a cultural reset. No cap, the writers are actually cooking with gas right now, and I am absolutely devouring every crumb they are giving us. The delivery was so bone-chillingly calm that it made the threat 10 times more terrifying. Basically, the moment those 6 words left her lips, the entire world stopped spinning. Victor's reaction was everything. It wasn't his usual bluster. He didn't yell, "You got that, pal." He didn't threaten to destroy her on the spot. He just froze. The terror, the genuine, unadulterated, spine-chilling horror that washed over his features was a masterclass in acting. I mean, we are talking about Victor Newman, a man who has stared down literal mobsters, survived explosions, and manipulated governments, looking at Phyllis Summers as if she were the Grim Reaper herself. It was a visceral explosion of vulnerability that we never get to see from him. I am actually spiraling just replaying the micro movements of his jaw in my head. He was completely, utterly trapped, and he knew it. But wait, is it possible this is all a massive bluff? Like, what if Phyllis doesn't actually have the full file and is just playing the most dangerous game of poker in the history of Genoa City? No, that can't be right. She wouldn't risk the wrath of the mustache without an ironclad insurance policy hidden in a safety deposit box somewhere. But then again, this is Phyllis. We are talking about the queen of flying by the seat of her pants. I don't know. My brain is literally short-circuiting trying to process the layers of this confrontation. One second, I am convinced she is the smartest person in the room, and the next, I am terrified she just signed her own death warrant. The emotional whiplash is so incredibly real, and I am vibrating at a frequency of pure, unfiltered anxiety. Seriously, the fallout from this is going to be apocalyptic. If Phyllis holds a secret, this massive something that genuinely terrifies Victor Newman to his core, what does this mean for Victoria? What does this mean for Nick? Summer is going to be caught directly in the crossfire of a nuclear war between her mother and her grandfather. The collateral damage is going to be astronomical. I am dead-ass predicting that the entire Newman family structure is going to collapse like a house of cards in a hurricane. Nikki's going to lose her absolute mind when she finds out Victor is being blackmailed by her ultimate nemesis, and you just know she is going to try and take Phyllis down herself. The drama is piping hot, and I am slurping it up like it's my last meal on earth. Anyway, we absolutely have to acknowledge the massive power shift that just occurred in the hierarchy of this show. Phyllis has spent so much time being the outcast, the pariah, the woman everyone loves to hate and blames for every single thing that goes wrong in town. But right now, she is the undisputed puppet master. She holds the strings to the most powerful man in the state. The sheer arrogance it takes to walk into that office, drop a bombshell of that magnitude, and then just stand there soaking in his palpable fear. It is high-key the most empowering, terrifying, magnificent character evolution we have seen in a decade. Period. She is not just surviving anymore. She is dominating the narrative, and I am bowing down to the queen. Look, I just keep thinking about how this ties back to everything, like the Ashland Locke cover-up, the constant corporate espionage, the way Victor always manages to sweep his horrific crimes under the rug while everyone else pays the ultimate price. It makes me so incredibly furious when I look at the hypocrisy of the Newman family sitting in their ivory tower judging everyone else while their closet is literally overflowing with skeletons, and Victoria just blindly following him, defending his every move like she doesn't know he is a ruthless dictator. Sorry, I'm getting a bit off track again. My blood pressure is just spiking thinking about the injustice of it all. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the point. The point is that the rug has finally been pulled and Victor is free falling without a parachute and Phyllis is the one holding the scissors. Basically what happens next? Does she demand his voting shares? Does she force him to step down as CEO and publicly humiliate himself? Does she make him confess to the authorities? The possibilities are literally endless, and every single one of them is absolute fire. The writers have handed us a golden ticket to the greatest, most high-stakes storyline of the year, and I am begging them on my hands and knees not to drop the ball. If Victor magically finds a way out of this by tomorrow's episode, with some off-screen legal loophole, I am literally going to riot in the streets. We need to see him sweat. We need to see him bleed. We need to see him beg. Because Phyllis has earned this moment of absolute supremacy, and we, as the day one loyalists, have earned the right to watch the empire burn to the ground. In conclusion, mutuals, I am a total wreck. I am a beautiful, chaotic, emotionally exhausted wreck. This episode just completely rewired my brain chemistry, and I honestly do not think I will ever be the same person again. The 6 words, the document, the unadulterated terror in Victor's eyes. It is all too much, and yet it is exactly what we have been starving for. I am going to be rewatching that confrontation scene on a loop until the sun comes up because I am fully, deeply obsessed. Let me know in the comments if you are also spiraling out of control, because I desperately need to know I am not alone in this magnificent madness. Until next time, keep your friends close and your manila folders closer.
Thank you for watching my video. I will be updating regularly with the latest news, so please remember to subscribe to my channel to support me.